Welcome back to another episode of Lives Getting Lives. My name's Ally, and this is my co-host, Donna.
Hi, Ally. I miss you.
I miss you too. We're doing another virtual meet this week. There's been a lot of issues keeping us apart, mostly on my part, but hopefully we will overcome this, and next week we will be together again, and we've got some awesome content coming. We are actually going to help Donna explore the world of makeup next week.
Fun. Well,
Donna, do you want to tell them what we've got in store this week, though?
yes. This week we have a guest we're going to be interviewing, Miss Baylee. She has an e-commerce business, and she's going to talk to us about how being a mom and that affects it, and what it actually is, and how to do it. So, hi, Baylee.
Hi, ladies.
Baylee, how are you today?
I'm doing awesome. The hurricane rain is finally gone. And so we are loving the sunshine and still praying to get under 90 degrees, but that is probably not going to happen for a while. So until then, I will stay in my tank tops and my summer wear.
I wish we could get below 90 degrees, but in Louisiana, I just don't think that's going to happen.
No.
In the hundreds next week again.
You do e-commerce, and I know you had a mentor who helped guide you into this business. Firstly, could you tell our viewers exactly what e-commerce is? And could you also tell us how your mentor helped guide you into that path?
Yeah, absolutely. So e-commerce, to put it very, very simple, is the buying and selling, trading of goods online. So think Amazon. So that anything like that, any of your online stores, Etsy, things like that, that's e-commerce. Just commerce over the internet. So really what has helped me the most, so it was a total chance meeting, which I can go to later, that we got connected with our mentors. So my husband and I are actually mentored by a couple, which was very important to us because they've guided us not only in our entrepreneurial journey, but in our marriage journey and having children. They've been married for almost 40 years. They have a 33-year-old daughter. So they had a lot of the fruit on the tree that we really wanted for our lives. And really for us, I'm picking up the phone and I'm talking to her about life. I'm calling her and asking her questions about business. I'm asking her questions about how do I handle this situation with my child? So it really is having that holistic mentorship in my life that has enabled me to be an effective business owner, an effective wife, and an effective mom.
What sort of products do you sell online?
So we carry over 350 different products. We don't house them. We actually have a company that we work with, that we're partnered with, that they manufacture everything. They have the scientists, they have all that kind of stuff, and they house everything themselves and ship it direct to our customers. So we have a lot of household consumable products, things that people are going to use on a daily basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, things like sports nutrition, health, and wellness, especially as we hit closer to the end of the year. People really start getting aware as they start making those New Year's resolutions of what they wish their health looked like, what they wish their body looked like, whatever it may be. We do a lot in skincare and cosmetics. We're partnered with one of the top 5 skincare prestige brands on the planet, which is very cool. Number 1 health and wellness supplement company in the world that we partner with, which is also very cool. But we handle anything from, I tell people, if you can find it under your kitchen counter, in your laundry room, on your bathroom counter, under your bathroom counter, then we probably carry it, or at the gym, we probably carry it. So we carry a little bit of everything purely because you can't really be very specific in the market these days if you want to have a very profitable business. And that's why Amazon has done so well, because they carry everything, or Walmart and Target specifically, they carry mostly consumable commodities. And that's why even in the midst of a recession or things like that, they still thrive as a company. So everything is handled directly through that. So I don't handle any of the, I may send stuff, personally to customers or things like that. But for the most part, all of my customer platform and all, the company takes care of that themselves. So when they hop online and order on my site, they get a 6-month money back guarantee on all their products. They get customer service that they have access to I believe it's from like 7 a.m. to like 11 p.m. every day. It's having those that expertise back you up. Because I don't know about y'all, but I sure as heck at 19 years old was not able to, create my own clothing line. I didn't have the money to invest on scientists to create my own skincare or cosmetic line. I'm not Kylie Jenner. Like I grew up like in a small community. I did not have the upfront capital to be able to invest thousands of dollars. So for me, it made more sense to partner with a company who already had a great reputation, and be able to be in business for myself, but not by myself.
Oh, that was very smart. Yeah, at 19, I just had my third kid, so I had zero money. Yeah, I have my
mom.
I had 3 kids in a row, 17, 18, and 19. I was busy.
3 under 3. God
Well,
bless.
at 19, I was working at a prison, and I had very little concept of money management. I was making good money, but I had no clue about how to manage it, much less invest it. So for you to have that sort of self-reflection and be able to think about your future at that point in time, that's amazing. And for you to have mentors to guide you and work you through the process. But I'm curious, is this something that is still able for people to get into and to make a business of their own out of, or is the market kind of saturated with a lot of other sellers at this point?
Oh no, 100%. It's wide open right now. I think now is a very important time for a lot of people because people are starting to evaluate, especially post-COVID, their lives and their decisions and the companies they work for. Just my personal story. I've worked for myself. You talked about being young and stuff and having those kind of thoughts. I've kind of worked for myself since I was about 14 or 15, because I actually I got signed to a modeling agency when I was younger. I was starting to do runway, and for me, I enjoyed. Don't get me wrong, like the modeling aspect was fun, but I really enjoyed the marketing type of it. I got to converse with customers, and I never forget. I talked to this one lady. She was from Texas, sweet, sweet lady. And she pulls me over. Normally they're pulling like the people who are working for the brand, which I don't want to mention the brand, of course, but they usually talk to them about what they should get, what they should stock their stores with and stuff. And she brought me over. And of course, I'm 17 at the time. And she's like, what do you think of this dress? Would you wear this to prom? And I kind of looked at the wholesale price and I was like, well, if you're going to have to mark it up, most likely this isn't going to fall within a affordable realm for most ladies. Like it's more going to be a specialty piece. Here are some items that might fit your store better, blah, blah, blah. And she just looked at me and said, you need to go into marketing. And honestly, that was kind of what solidified my future in marketing and stuff, because I was just like, this is what I'm going to do. But now it's companies are wanting more and more. This is why you have influencers on Instagram, on Facebook and things like that, because companies know that they'd rather have faces for their company out in the marketplace, living their normal lives, because they relate to somebody better than just a celebrity endorsement, right? So there's definitely, as a lot of people think, because we're in an e world and everyone seems to have a business these days that the market would be saturated. But the fact of the matter is, more and more every day, people are wanting to change things about their lives, find products to fit needs that they have. They're constantly, how do I get, better health? How do I feel better? How do I look better? How do I do better? That people are constantly looking for upgrades and products to do that. Or people are constantly looking for, how do I take control of my life? How do I own a business for myself if I have no experience or not a whole lot of capital and things like that. So I think the market right now is wide open.
So what products did you start selling? Did you start with the ones you're selling now, or has it changed over time?
It's definitely changed as the market's changed, as there's been a higher demand for clean skincare, as there's been a higher demand for clean makeup, for more transparency in ingredient list and things like that. Things have certainly changed over the years in a great way. And I think too, as you get feedback and stuff from certain products, which I love that the manufacturer really listens to us when, independent business owners reach out and say, hey, this is what I'm hearing from my customers. Hey, they're not really liking this. I'm getting some bad feedback about this, but people are loving this. Can we continue to do this or expand this line? Things have really, really changed over the years. So, the health and wellness supplement company we work with was like organic before organic was cool. So not a whole lot has changed in that market, just because we were kind of ahead of the curve on that. But I definitely think that I've watched products come and go over the years, and some that were total duds absolutely did not grab people's attention. And then there were some that people were just like, oh, wow, like this seems like a new idea. And then for 6 months later, you start seeing it in the marketplace popping up in Walmart, Target, what have you. So that's a really good feeling when you feel like you're kind of like ahead of the curve.
Yeah. That's great.
I'm curious, do you get to select the items yourself, or is that something that the manufacturer recommends to you? Do they give you a set list of items to choose from, or do you have some input in what is created?
So a little of both. So we get a ton of input into the things that come out. We actually have a board that kind of listens to our needs and what we ask for. We have, for instance, probably the skincare line was one of the bigger lines. Were one of the big ones because people were moving more towards no sulfates, no parabens, which we didn't have a whole lot of like junk and stuff in there, but it was still like cleaning up a little bit more using, natural botanicals and stuff, came from people in the marketplace asking the manufacturer, hey, this is what people are wanting. And the scientists constantly working on it. They've been working on it for years. So being able to work with a company that they kind of already have a lot of that figured out, because they've done a lot of the market research and they know what products to offer to people, but also at the same time that they come to the individual business owner like me and say, hey, what are you seeing in the marketplace? What do you think is going to really sell? And they bring it out. We have a whey protein pod. And, whey protein, everybody's in the gym, right? Everybody wants to get in the gym. Well, we have, we have these pods that you literally just like throw them in a shaker cup, shake them up, and you don't have to like, carry around your tub and stuff. You can just throw a pod in the empty shaker cup and pour liquid in and shake it up. And even though that seemed like such a little thing, that came from them listening to business owners of like, nobody wants to carry a big bag of powder or a big tub of powder into a gym just to drink their protein shake or whatever. We need something convenient. And that's what that came from.
Wow, that is awesome that they allow y'all to give that input and make alterations based on your inputs. I'm like a really great manufacturer.
Yeah. I mean, they've been number one in direct sales for years and years, which is very cool because they're a global company. But it's really neat because they trust the face of their business a ton and trust all of us. And so they understand we are the market, and at the end of the day, we are their biggest customers is, listening to the business owners, because we're the ones who are talking to people all the time. So it definitely makes a difference. I'm very thankful that, we got connected with the company when we did.
So I know that you and your spouse work together and you're kind of a dynamic duo. How has that affected things? Has it made finding a work-life balance harder for you, or has it caused any conflict? Because I mean, I couldn't imagine living with, breathing the same air as my spouse constantly. It would probably get a little overwhelming at times. How do you manage that?
That's pretty funny. So we kind of have an experience, both experiences, right? We've experienced it both. When we first came into business, I was working full-time at a vet. I was going to school full-time. I was pulling, 16 credit hours because I had scholarships, and I was still modeling at the time. So I was very busy. Corey was very busy. He was working like 80 hours a week. He was a general manager for a company. And we were like, and this was when we were 19 and 22. And we were engaged at the time, trying to plan a wedding. We were younger when we got married. And we were just like, dinner's on the stove. I'll see you like maybe if you're awake later, and we realized like this, okay, if this is what everybody is talking about adulting, this sucks. Like this is the worst. You high five in the hallway, like, see you later, off to work again. that really sucked. And so when the corporate realm kind of screwed us over a little bit, I was thankful we dug the well when we did, but COVID was when we came home. So it was like, oh, we for real together, because when COVID shut down everything, he and I got laid off from our corporate roles 5 days apart from each other while I was 3 months pregnant.
Oh, that had to be such a stressful time.
Right.
But, honestly, he's always been, my biggest fan and biggest advocate. And I think free business before having a mentor in our life, oh, we would have been at each other's throats. There's no way we could have worked together. We are very, very different. And like, I'm very bubbly and peppy and excited and stuff. And he's like not a detail guy, like type A, get it done when it needs to get done kind of guy. Like, if fun doesn't have to be in the equation, he doesn't want it in the equation. This is wasting time, unless it's like, something in his interest alley and stuff, which is just that personality type. I love it. And I'm more of like everything, the whole world's a party, the more the merrier. Like, this is a great time. And so before having a mentor, no, we could not have made it work. We would have been at each other all the time. Not to say we haven't, had our ups and downs, but since being just the two of us working together, and we own 2 companies instead of just the e-commerce. We actually own 2 companies, and having my daughter and stuff, we kind of laugh because it's like we get along better than we ever did. We're not fighting about stupid things because of lack of sleep or lack of money or lack of time together. We actually can, sit down and have conversations, and we get busy, but having those coaches and mentors in our life just to be like, okay, like, here's some books on marriage. Here's some books on communication, this is what has yielded both of our, we've had kind of 2 sets of mentors. They're like, adopted family to us. They're so sweet, but one's been married for over 50 years and one's been married for almost 40. So it was kind of, but having 2 couples that have been married for 40 and 50 years, sewing into your life and telling you how to have a successful marriage, how to raise successful kids, because I look at their kids, how much they respect them. I look at their marriage and how much they love each other and care for each other and how well they work together. It's like, honestly, if Corey and I didn't have that, we would have already been divorced or never gotten married.
It is really amazing that you guys have had such awesome support from your mentors. They really sound like they have helped guide and mold you in every facet of your life since your early years. Like, that is amazing that you had that sort of pillar in your life, someone to lean on and to support you and guide you through those early adult years and help you to establish yourself.
Yeah. It's not like we had bad family or anything like that, but we had family that didn't necessarily understand our paths, or, family that wasn't necessarily supportive at first or things like that. And that's okay. They were
the world of business, though. I feel like there's only so much support someone on the outside of that sort of business can give you, because they don't really have the full understanding of exactly what you're dealing with.
Right. And that's something that, things like that look kind of scary, to someone who maybe doesn't have experience in that, or, they've been taught their whole lives, that if you have a degree that you're able to get a good job, that'll, you'll be able to stay with your whole life and get a good pension and stuff like that. And the fact of the matter is, the world has changed so much and companies have changed so much that what a lot of things that we thought were very solid are no longer very solid. And so, corporate is for some people and it's not for others. And so what we found was, some of our family were more like college minded, corporate minded and stuff. And that's great. And they've, done really well in that arena. But we also have family that are entrepreneurs and things like that. And they're super supportive. And they were just like, yeah, like, we get it. Not everybody's going to be happy, and that's okay. And I was like, I don't, making everybody happy is not going to pay my bills. So.
And it's going to make you.
You're doing e-commerce. Oh, I'm sorry, Donna.
No, go ahead. I can't hear you again.
No, you go.
No. Just go,
no,
Ally.
You need to say something.
I did say something. Just.
Okay. So, now the question evaded me. Dang it, Donna.
You're welcome. You love me. I didn't have a question.
Since your work field is in e-commerce and that's online, do you have a stay-at-home job, so to speak, or do you find yourself in more of an office setting?
Oh no, I'm definitely at home. Like this is actually more my husband's office than mine. I'm like never in here. Most of my stuff, honestly, is very integrated with my life. So it may be most of it's on my phone. I'm messaging people or doing things for my apps or, maybe popping stuff up on my laptop. But honestly, being a stay-at-home mom and, running your own business, it's really even for both of our businesses. Corey is even though he owns a construction like mold inspection and remediation company, he's home a lot. And so we just found that works way better for us. And the reality is, man, me sitting in a chair for hours on end is not going to happen. So I kind of enjoy the little bit of chaos of having a kid that I'm running around with and being like, oh, okay, let me take this 10 minutes I have, and take care of something real quick. And then, okay, we're back to momming. So
That's awesome.
That's amazing that you get to have the best of both worlds, so to speak, though. You have a thriving business and you're still able to watch your children learn and grow and be there daily for them.
Yeah, that was very important to me before I had kids. Was I wanted to make sure my mom worked her butt off. My mom was a single mom for a while and then she married a wonderful man. But I remember being really young. She worked third shift and she was just doing what she had to do to provide. But I remember her being gone and I remember not having time with her. And so that was something that I said, when I have children. And Corey's dad was the same. Corey's dad owned it on his own business, but he had to go out and physically do the work of the construction and stuff like that. So he was gone a ton too. He's like, we weren't hurting for money, but I also didn't get to have as much time with him as I wanted. And so, we said, both of us agreed, which I think is so important in marriage, being able to agree, okay, do you want to be at home with them? Yes, I do. Okay, great. I think this is going to be best for our kids and our family. And so we've worked really hard to make sure that that's the case.
I love that you guys are such a team and that you confront each issue you face together. And thinking about what's good for your family and your business, not just one or the other. I think that's beautiful that you guys have been able to reach that level of communication. How long have y'all been married?
We've been married for 8 years. We've been together for 12.
Awesome.
Wow. 8-year gang. I'm almost to 8 years too.
Well, congrats. That's awesome. Oh, we're all like right there around each other. We'll be 9 years in March. But yeah, I've known him since I was 14. So
similar situation. I've known my husband since I was like 13.
yeah.
But this is my second marriage. I got married at 18 to my first baby daddy for about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
well,
now
glad the second one. Glad this one's
much better.
Much better.
Much better. What do you do to help you deal with all the stress and to wind down at the end of a day?
In general, honestly, I prioritize like me time, like quiet time. And I get up earlier than my daughter, about an hour. My daughter's a total night owl, so it's not like I'm getting up at 5 a.m. Though there are moms that do that, and God bless them. But yeah, I cannot. Thankfully, she's a night owl, so I get up about an hour before her. And for me personally, that's my prayer time. That's my reading time. That's my like study time. Just to fill myself up, because it's something that I always say is you can't drive a car on an empty gas tank, right? And what most women do a lot of times, I'm so guilty of this, I've done this so many times, is you run the car close to empty all the time. Well, what happens in a normal car is you suck trash up into your fuel filter and then you end up having a breakdown and then it doesn't end well.
We've done that multiple times.
Yeah. And so, that was something that I constantly did, was I was prioritizing, just pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, and I wasn't filling up at all. So for me, you know, I even have, and it's going to look very bright, my days are broken down into 30-minute increments. And so I have, you know, that in the morning, I have every single morning a block, quiet time. Now, does it happen every morning? No, sometimes she wakes up early. Sometimes things happen. That block gets moved during nap time or during another time of the day or before bed. You know, I have things that I'm going to do while she's taking a nap, whether it's I'm doing a workout, doing some stretching, you know, popping like an audio or something in to listen to, like an inspirational like podcast or things like that. Every day I have things on a list that, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do to move my business forward, to be a blessing to my daughter, to be a blessing to my home, and be able to fill myself up and be a blessing to myself. And of course, be a blessing to my husband. And when I do that, I'm happier. Penelope is happier. Things are a lot smoother. The days that I don't prioritize that, and I have this idea that if I just work harder, everything will fix itself, the day goes really bad. I'm on edge. Everyone else is on edge. It's very, you know, chaotic at our house. You know, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't, you know, take the time to get up to do that, you know, just so exhausted and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, these will get you. And I have to make myself, like, there are times where I literally have to say, okay, I've been scrolling my Facebook for an hour while she's been napping, and it's not going to make me feel better. It's not going to do anything for me. I'm purely just entertaining myself. And so, you know, entertainment, man, will kill productivity and it will kill your brain. And so, you know, something that I have to make myself mindful of is like, I'm guilty, man. I got like a game on my phone. It's like Project Makeover. So it's essentially Candy Crush. Let's be honest. It's essentially Candy Crush. And it is.
I have that game on my phone as
well.
It is
addicting. It is.
I deleted it off of mine because it's
like you have 3 games in one. And so it's like stuff like that. Oh my gosh. Like you're exhausted. I just want to chill. I don't want to do anything else for the day. And then it's just like, I'm just going to do this instead. And then you end up on it for an hour. You come off of it. You feel fuzzy headed. You're like, okay, like I really don't want to do anything now. And so you just kind of feel ugh for the rest of the day. And so the days that I don't prioritize filling myself up, that's kind of what my days look like. I do a lot more scrolling. I tune out. I feel like a lot more. I feel like I'm not as present for Penelope. So it really takes, like, you know, people are like, every 30 minutes seems excessive. It's like, well, you know, if I don't plan it, if you don't plan your day before it gets here, your day's already gone. And so it's like, I have, you know, oh, I need to reach out to this customer. I need to send this off to somebody. I need to do this. I need to do that. Instead of having a to-do list of like, okay, here's this checklist of things I need to get done, where we put way too much on it that we can get done in a day. And we know we do that. Here's the 48 things that I'm going to get done before I go to bed. You are not going to vacuum your roof before the end of the day. Like, it's not happening.
That pile of clothes on your bed, you're just going to crawl on top of them and sleep on them.
Yeah. Are you going to move it to that spot on the
shove
floor,
it on the
chair? Floor. There's a chair or a couch. Everybody fills up. And so, you know, it's
a massage table, but same.
But yeah. So, you know, by having a written calendar, not a digital one, a written one. Our digital is our shared calendar. Me and my husband know what we have each going on for appointments. But it's a written calendar where every night before I go to bed, this is the time that I'm taking Penelope to the park. This is the time for myself. This is while she's napping, I'm going to accomplish getting stretched, you know, working out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get lunch ready for when she wakes up. And I'm going to take care of this customer activity that I need to do. And then, you know, okay, when she gets up, this is what we're doing. This is when we're eating lunch. This is when we're cooking dinner. Because if I don't, my day will get away from me and it'll get the end of the day and I've gotten nothing done.
I think that is a bit much as far as the 30 minutes, but it seems like it is more beneficial because, like you said, then you know exactly what you have the time in your day to do with it. You know, you're not over scheduling or overbooking and then not getting things done and kind of going through the motions of beating yourself up because you weren't as productive as you thought you would be. But I feel like
Yeah.
if you schedule it properly and know exactly how much time you have for each task,
Yeah.
then yeah, you would get more done, and it would you would probably feel more accomplished at the end of it as well.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, when I say every 30 minutes, that's what my calendar is broken into, like with a calendar that I bought. Clever Fox calendars on Amazon, they are the bomb. They are fantastic. Um, but most of it is like by an hour and stuff. It's because I'll have like appointments in the evening that sometimes are like 30 minutes apart. So a lot of it is, I book an hour for myself, like, okay, this is the time we're going to get this done. But it's having the grace for myself and my daughter that everything's not going to go as I had planned. Everything's not going to go according to the schedule every time. This is our outline for the day and ideally what we want to get done. But I mean, last Friday and this week, I had certain dinners planned and things like that were a lot more hands-on. My daughter got a virus. She got super sick. So then all that changed to, we're going to be eating sheet pan meals or something out of an Instapot because I do not have time to be making this pizza from scratch,
Yeah.
So being able to just be flexible and give myself and her grace, because sometimes if I get a little too on my schedule, I can forget that, you know what, she's only 3. Like, she's not going to perfectly go down at the exact same time every day for her nap, and that's okay. It's like I have the maturity that I can flex around it.
I think it's really great that you have found such wonderful work-life balance. Even though you work from home, you've managed to make it work, and you've managed to really create a very structured environment without being overly structured, and you're giving yourself grace, like you said. And I think that's really a beautiful thing, that you're not holding yourself to an unachievable standard.
Oh yeah, because don't we do that? We're just like, oh yeah, like, and comparison is a thief of joy, and that's something that I've had to be very aware of, especially when you're a mom, is comparing your journey to someone else's journey. And I have friends that are in this industry that are wildly successful, and I'm so proud of them. But there were times when they were growing and I wasn't, and vice versa as well. And we've actually had conversations with each other how we have, man, like, I totally have compared myself to you in these times. And they're like, I've compared myself to you. Like, so it's being able to be transparent of like, you know what, like, my journey is my journey. We've definitely had hiccups along the way. The last 2 years were the hardest years of our lives. And, we just realized, like, okay, like, this is the journey that we've been given. And, there are obviously people that we need to affect, and there's, a purpose that we have. And we just have to be able to say, okay, from our failures, we can take that and let it be a blessing for someone else who may be going through the same thing.
You are like a beam of sunshine, Baylee. I really love your energy, and I'm so thankful that you took the time to sit down and talk with us. To be honest, we had to Google what e-commerce was. I mean, we knew what it was, but we didn't know the name for it, So I feel like we've learned a lot through this meet, and we really appreciate your time. I know that you probably had to pencil us in, and I really appreciate you taking the ink to do so.
Oh, thank you, ladies. I greatly appreciate you guys having me on. You guys are so sweet and so fun. And you almost worry like what it's going to be like, getting on something like this. It's like, oh, are they going to be super professional, or am I going to be able to like be myself and joke around?
Oh yeah. See, we started off kind of being overly professional, and then we got to the point where we felt like we weren't being genuine with ourselves,
Nobody
We
wants to
want to
like,
be able to be goofy
oh,
and show the reality of what wives and mothers deal with. And it's not always professional. Let's be real.
no, 100% not. Like, absolutely not. There are so many days I cannot tell you. The other day, I was doing meetings and all that kind of stuff, and I can't tell you the amount of snot that was on my shirt for my child. And I was just like, you know what? This is real life,
It really is. And I can't do anything without being silly. It's just not fun. And you gotta have fun.
You gotta laugh a little bit. I think that's one of the best things that my husband has probably taken from our marriage is, like, I make him be fun, and he enjoys it. But like, would he initiate it himself? Probably not. But I'm just like, let's go do this adventure. And he's like, okay.
That's me. I feel
Me
I
too.
was actually called yesterday the personification of Eeyore. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't feel like they lied to me.
That's funny. But I feel like Eeyore is sometimes like doom and gloom, but like I've seen him smile quite a few times. And I'm like, I feel like he's the voice in everyone's head, the pessimistic voice, of like what could go wrong that happens inside people's heads. Just everybody doesn't say it all the time. They're just like, oh God, like here we go. My daughter just watched Winnie the Pooh this morning. That's the only reason why I'm just like, oh my God, the fact that you just said that.
Thank you again, Baylee, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies, for having me on today.
Thank you so much. And again, I hope you have a wonderful day, Baylee. It was so great to meet with you.
Y'all too. Enjoy y'all's kiddos. Enjoy the rest of the day. And hopefully, dear God, soon enjoy cooler weather.